Algebra 1. Hey guys. Listen up. Today we are working on page 799, surface area and volume. And this is going to be probably the one area of review from the back of the book where some of you guys may have done very little of this, or if you've done this, it's been a very long time. And I'm going to need to make sure that you are very, very focused. All right. So your textbooks have to be open to page 799 because I will be referencing that throughout this whole video. Okay. So get the textbooks out. Make sure that you are ready to copy down these notes, ready to give me your full focus. These videos are vital. Make sure that you are paying close attention. You're watching them, rewatching them. Everything that I know I've already said, but I just know that it's very important. Okay, so everything you see here on the screen, go ahead and copy that down. All right, so I'm just going to give you a little scroll so we get a little bit more space there. Okay, so if you need to pause it, copy all of this information down that you presently see on the screen. Okay, I will now be scrolling and leaving it right here. Pause it now if you need to and copy down all of this information that is on the screen. Okay, gonna go with the assumption you have done that. All right, now let's go ahead and go back, review this all together. Remember, you have to leave your answers in terms of pi. That means that when you get to the step where you would have a number multiplied by pi, remember pi is 3.14, you're not going to do that. You're just going to leave your answer as a number and then the symbol for pi. So let's say you got down to the step and it is 8 multiplied by pi, you're done. Your answer would be 8 pi. Okay, that helps you, it helps me. To be honest with you, it's pretty rare that you're going to have the requirement of really multiplying by pi. Even with my Algebra 2 students, I pretty much always say just leave your answers in terms of pi. All right, so there's that. And it is really important now that you copy down all 5 shapes and all of the equations that go with those shapes. That is on page 799. Again, that is all 5 shapes and all equations. Specifically, there's 2 equations that they will be giving you for every shape. S for surface area, V for volume. You're gonna need all of that. Okay, so copy that down. All right, if you need to pause it and do so. Now, after you have all of that copied down, you're gonna see these letters that might not make sense yet. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Just in case, I give you the definitions. A capital P, that's important you notice, a capital P stands for the perimeter of the base. You've already learned how to calculate perimeter, and it's just the perimeter of the base. What is a base? The base is the thing that is flat on a surface. All right, that is going to be your base. H, that is a lowercase h, stands for the height of the shape. All right, then you're looking at a cursive lowercase l. I know, it might seem, why is it cursive? Why is it lowercase? But it stands for what's called the lateral height. Another thing you could think of, maybe this means to you the angle height or the slant height. So that's going to be these shapes that have an angle height, not a perfect up and down. That is just H. I'm talking about shapes that have a curve, an angle height. And if you look at the textbook, that's going to be your pyramid and that's going to be your cone. Those are the 2 shapes that are going to have a lateral height. Okay. Capital B, that stands for the area of the base. A capital B, area of the whole base. And a capital C, going to stand for the circumference of the base. Remember, circumference only goes with shapes that are going to have a circle involved. So again, if you look back at the book, that is going to be your cylinder, that's going to be your cone, and that is going to be looks like just those 2 for now, cylinder and cone. All right, so all of that info presented there. let's jump into some example problems. I'm going to say we do the best we can here. I know that is clearly just a circle. Imagine in your head that really it's a sphere. So in other words, a three-dimensional ball shape. Okay, we are looking at a radius of 4. That is given. Look at the textbook. Check out the equations we're going to be using here. We're going to start by solving for surface area. And that equation you're going to see on 799. This is what is given. Remember, in the equation, they give you the number 4, but also we have the number 4 presented as our radius. So make sure that you see that. Okay. Now we have 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by our radius, and then we will be squaring that radius. All right, so let's fill in the blanks. We got 4, we got pi, we got another 4 because that's what our radius is, and we're going to square it. 4 squared is 16, and then we're going to do a 16 multiplied by 4, and you are looking at a surface area of 64 pi. Okay, so that is your surface area. Now, let's take a look at volume. Volume for a sphere, that is given as 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, again, textbook must be open. Look at this so that this isn't like I'm making up this information. You got to be focusing on it with me. All right, let's replace r with 4. So we're going to go with 4/3 pi, and then our r is 4 to the 3rd power. Okay, so 4 to the 3rd power, that is 64. Then we're going to take that 64 and multiply it by 4/3. So all that looks like is you're going to have 4/3 times 64/1. Okay, multiply 64 by the number 4, you get 256. Take 256 and divide it by 3, and you're going to get 85 and 1/3. And don't forget, what is still there? Pi. So that right there represents our volume. Okay, volume right there. All right, so that would be for a sphere. Okay, now let's move down the page here. Now we are looking at a cylinder. So find the equation for cylinder, and you are given a radius of 1, a height of 3, and let's take a look at what surface area would look like. All right, I'm going to immediately start plugging in values here for the surface area. Feel like, there we go. All right, so the surface area, and we have 2 multiplied by pi, and it says r squared. What is r? It's just 1 for us, so that works out nicely, plus 2 pi r again, which is 1, and a height, which is 3. Okay, if you take a look at the textbook, I'm just pulling the equation directly out, but I'm filling in the blanks for r and h. So now let's go step by step. 1 squared is 1. That times 2 is going to be 2. And don't forget, we still have pi right there. Plus, and then on the other side, we have 3 times 1, which is 3, times 2, which is now going to be 6 pi. Okay, now this may look a little bit weird at this stage, but imagine if pi were a variable like x, and I were to say you have 2x plus 6x. What would that be? It would be 8x. So that's all we're doing here. Combine the like terms and imagine that pi is a variable. So in this case, we are going to say we have 8 pi, and that is all for our surface area. Okay, now let's do our volume. All right, volume is pi multiplied by the radius, again, that is just 1, squared, and then multiplied by the height, which is 3. So volume works out a lot nicer. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Volume, very simply enough, 3 pi. All right, so that's what we're looking at for a cylinder shape. Let's scroll down. Here we go. Now we are looking at a cone. Okay, so find cone, and we are going to do surface area first. All right, so it says that surface area is pi multiplied by r. And in this case, what is our r? It is this guy right here. It's the 2 and then squared. And then we need to add that to pi multiplied by r. Again, that's 2. And then there's that lowercase l, which stands for the slant height. Okay? And that is given as the 4. Okay, you'll notice the 4, it's with the side that's tilted. So now let's start crunching some numbers. 2 squared is 4. So this side looks like 4 pi. All right, then you have 2 times 4. This side is going to look like 8 pi. And then it's simply a matter of just combine like terms. 4 pi plus 8 pi, that's going to be 12 pi. All right, so that right there, this was for our surface area. Now let's take a look at our volume for a cone. So volume, the equation is 1/3 pi multiplied by r, which is our radius. Remember, that's 2 squared, then multiplied by our height. And in this case, that part is on me. I need to give you a height. So let's go with our height here is going to be right there. And let's go with a height of, we'll say 3. Okay, so let's add that in there because we do have to have a height. And then let's plug that in right there into the equation. So 2 squared, that is 4, multiplied by 3 is going to be now a 1/3 pi. Okay, and if we start simplifying this, we have a 1/3 multiplied now by a 12. Okay, imagine like that's 12 over 1. Think of this now as saying 12 divided by 3, which is going to be 4. And don't forget that that pi is still involved. It's right there. Okay, so this one is our volume for pi. Okay, so again, using these equations right there from the textbook, plug in the given values. All right, and our last one, let's see, this is a rectangular prism. That's what RP stands for, rectangular prism. And this one I had to fully hand draw, so I apologize if it doesn't look so good. Did the best I could, but I think you'll basically get the shape we're going for here. So the base of a rectangular prism, the base, just the part that's on the ground, that's a square, okay? That's going to be represented by, there's a 2 here and a 2 here, and you know that the other 2 sides are also 2. The height is given as 4, okay? So let's take a look. Rectangular prism, solving for our surface area first, okay? It says 2 multiplied by L multiplied by W. L and W in this case, that is both the number 2. All right, so this is L, this is our W, this is our height. Okay, that should pretty much cover all the necessary info that we're going to need here. So we have 2, amazingly enough, multiplied by a number 2 and another 2. Okay, we're going to add that to 2 multiplied by h. What is h? That is 4. Multiplied by w. What is w for us? It's 2. And then we need to add that. There's another 2. What is our L? Our L is 2. And our H, remember, is 4. All right, so all this needs to be calculated. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2, so this gives you 8. 2 times 4 is 8 times 2, that gives you 16. 2 times 2, 4 times another 4, that gives you another 16. All right, 16 and 16, what do we got there? 32. 32 plus 8, this should be 40. A surface area of 40. Okay, so that part is good. Now let's see, we might need a little bit more space here. Let's add another page. All right, so there's that, and let's see if we can keep a little bit of that info right there. And now let's just calculate the last thing we need, which is our volume. And our volume is represented by length times width times height. And those are all given values right there. So that is a 2 times 2 times 4. 2 times 2 is 4 times 4. We're looking at 16 for our volume. All right, guys. I know, might have been a little bit long video. Stay awake. Hopefully you stayed with me the whole time. Go back through this, rewatch it if you're going to need any extra help. Okay, so that's what we're covering for rectangular prism. This covers the cone. This covers a cylinder. And this last, or first one actually, then covered a sphere. Okay, so all the info you're going to need to do all the homework for this review. All right. Miss you guys. Keep it up. Keep working hard. Keep working hard. Don't give up. Definitely don't check out yet. I know we're so close to the end, but keep working hard. You guys got this. All right. We'll see you later.